I remember sitting down when we started getting the information about this project. We sat down with the engineer and the principal agent. We discussed on how we're going to do it. As you've seen, it's a very tight site. You had access from the road and only the road. So the planning that had to happen in conjunction with other subcontractors was huge. And I remember sitting and looking at the design. Everyone in my office looked at me all funny when I folded a piece of paper to create a little splice detail to see if my hand will fit in that splice detail to make sure that we can do this job, because it's a building that's 30 meters high and we had big, huge steel columns, and the connection plates on that, we had 20 bolts going down that connection plate, and to get your hand in everywhere was my hand couldn't fit in, but my assistant in the office, she put her hand in there, and I said, well, if her hand can fit in there, my workforce hands can fit in there. And it was quite fun. It was very nice working as a team on that project, specifically when it came to details and figuring out, can it work? What do we have to do? Let's change this in order to make that happen. And with the engineer being on board, it just helped tremendously. It opened up everybody's eyes to think outside the box. Back how it was in the early 80s, when we didn't have computers, when we didn't have, you really had to think outside the box. How are you going to get up 27 meters in the air without having access of a mobile cherry picker? And we really went back to the 1980s to get inspiration on to work safely, number one, and to work efficiently, number two. And that was a very big highlight on this project when it came to just thinking outside the box, making this brain think all over again. That was fun. So that whole plant was designed to make feed for animals, for pigs, and to make sure that if the whole what's the best way of saying this? Sorry guys. The whole installation of the mechanical equipment inside the building was there and orchestrated to make sure that no mess out of the mechanical equipment can take place. And if it does mess on the steel and the fascia plates and everything, it can be cleaned up. So all connections, when it came to the flooring, we had to make sure that no feed can fall inside the little gaps and crevices and all of that. It was a unique challenge, but it worked out for everybody, and a lot of thought was put into it from the word get-go. For me personally, it was a great achievement. I mean, I was busy with this project from very early stages, having a discussion on site with the engineer, and then he came to me and he says, listen here, this is the project. How are we going to get this done? And that's when the brain really started ticking. And for the team, it was nice because it was something out of our comfort zone. It was far away from home. It was in Cape Town. We were in Dalmas. And just the communication, I think it stems back. Let's communicate more often. Let's be very clear with our communication. Let's be very clear with our details and make life easy. And I think that's the best part of this whole job. And for me personally, I think this was one of the best projects I've done in a very, very long time, just because it made me think and made me realize that in the olden days, the people were actually clever, and we just took it for granted. Our technology just took over something that should be very simple.